years, but you have debunked this false charge of Christian nationalism being this boogeyman, this dangerous thing to America. Can you break that down a bit more? Because that term will still be thrown around, I'm sure, a bunch over the next 4 years.
It's crazy, Eric. And listen, it was invented by the left. It used to just be called Christian patriotism.
Yeah.
Listen, it's okay to love your country. Right? Now, can you love Trump and your country more than Jesus? Sure. The heart is an idol factory.
Yeah.
We love to create idols out of things. Of course you could. But does that by and large reflect the conservative movement or Christians who are engaged in the culture war and in our political process to promote righteousness and withhold wickedness? Does that largely describe that movement? No, the people I meet by and large love the Lord. They know they've been saved by grace through faith. Not by works, lest no man can boast. And so they care about their community. I mean, love of country is an extension of filial piety. So I love my family. I love my wife and children. Shocker. So does everyone. So I care about the neighborhood that my home is in. And I want it to be safe. Because my home is where my children are, and my family is my family. So I kind of care about maybe my city government. Because my city is where my neighborhood is, my neighborhood is where my home is, and my home is where my kids sleep. So I probably care about this, like the county and the state level laws. You just extend your love of family out to the borders of all 50 states. Love of country is an extension of filial piety. Get like Augustine, get your rightly ordered loves in the correct order, and it's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. And so I say, Christian nationalism, isn't that better than secular globalism? What we have to understand is that nature abhors a vacuum. So R.J. Rushdoony, the father of the modern homeschool movement, said, dominion does not disappear when a man renounces it. It's simply transferred to another party, perhaps to his wife, children, employer, or the state. Where organized society surrenders power, the mob gains it proportionate to the surrender. In other words, in a self-governing constitutional republic where we, the people, are the sovereign and our elected representatives serve at our pleasure and consent, at least I think that's how it's supposed to work, then we actually determine the direction of this country and how it turns out. So before the Supreme Court right now, Eric.
Yeah.
Before the Supreme Court right now, should we sexually mutilate and chemically castrate children? And you're like, how is this a conversation we're having at the Supreme Court of the United States?
Pretty open and shut
When
case.
Christians are silent, everything goes to hell in a handbasket awfully quickly. One of my heroes, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, says, silence in the face of evil is itself evil. Not to speak is to speak, not to act is to act. God will not hold us guiltless. So a church that is not iconoclastic is a travesty.
Yeah.
If it's not against the idols, it is with them. What I'm trying to say is, if you try to rip Christianity out of a republic, we don't all get coexist bumper stickers. We don't all learn how to get along and live together. Turns out the C in coexist wants to murder half the other letters, by the way.
Yeah.
You know a lot about this. You cover a lot of this.
Absolutely.
So that's the critique against Christian nationalism. And I say, I want more of it. I want Christians who understand their stewardship and obedience to God first, with fearful trembling, stewarding the freedoms and liberties we've been given for the next generation. Because when we don't, who takes the reins of political power and influence in this republic?
Yeah.
The transgender, child sacrifice, baby mutilating, baby murder, redefined marriage, and redefined parenthood revolution that we trace in the 1916 Project, this agenda of death. Unless the church flatulent becomes the church militant, it will become the church irrelevant.
Yeah, like you said, you mentioned, Seth, the word is a vacuum, and it's been filled by evil. Every pulpit in America should be talking about these issues. You will be talking about them in D.C. during inauguration event, big event coming up during inauguration week, I should say. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so listen, Roe's overturned. It goes back to the states, and so everything is more local than it used to be, right?
Yeah.
No more rhino, GOP compromising excuses about, well, we're hamstrung by the Supreme Court. Just Roe v. Wade. No. Now you're not. I don't want to hear those excuses anymore. It's time to abolish abortion. Now, obviously, 14th Amendment, I think the protections for the preborn are already there. No person can be deprived of the right to life without due process of law. I think the abolition of abortion is already in the 14th Amendment. But anyways, we need to abolish abortion in as many state levels as possible until we get a constitutional amendment to ban abortion. How's it going to happen? At the local level. Who used to lead locally for cultural transformation, for resistance and reformation in antiquity and in the history of our country? The church. And so Life or Death Con, lifeordeathcon.com on January 23rd at the Westin, downtown Washington, D.C. Register. We only got 1,000 seats for those that want to be there.
Seth, thank you for all you are doing for the sanctity of life. Hey, the Seth Gruber podcast, Unaborted. Check it out, and we'll see you in D.C.
Amen.
Hopefully, my friend. God bless Seth. We'll see you again soon. Coming up after the break, as Seth and I have been discussing